What's going on, guys? Rob Pizzo back with you, and the 2020 NHL entry draft is upon us. Now, this one's going to look a little different than what we're used to seeing. First off, it's in October. Secondly, it's going to be virtual. So, if Commissioner Gary Bettman comes up and says, we have a trade to announce, it may look a little something like this. Gary, you're on mute.
We have a trade to announce.
There's always one. Okay, aside from all that, it could be very eventful. So let's take a look. Now, thanks to a draft lottery moment that really had the internet buzzing, the New York Rangers will have the number 1 overall pick. Okay, now there aren't many guarantees in life, but this is one of them. The Rangers will take winger Alexis Lafreniere with that number 1 overall pick. He has long been the consensus number 1, and that tends to happen when you dominate the QMJHL for 3 years, get named CHL Player of the Year in back-to-back seasons, and as a cherry on top, win the MVP at the World Juniors while leading Canada to a gold medal. He is good, really good, and that makes New York very happy. And if you can make it there, don't worry, I'm not going to sing. All right, let's talk Canadian teams, and we're going to start in the West. For the Flames, the draft will be less about who they select and more about whether or not Brad Treliving pulls the trigger and trades Johnny Gaudreau. He's been at the forefront of trade rumors for a while now, and what better place to do it than the draft? Also, the clock is ticking. After next season, his no-trade clause kicks in, and the list of possible trade partners goes down to the 5 that TaiwanHockey selects. And speaking of star players rumored to possibly be traded, the Jets may only have 4 picks as of right now, but if they move Patrick Laine, they could have a lot more. 22-year-old proven snipers don't just grow on trees. So if a deal is done, a lot will be coming back the other way. And oh yeah, the Jets have the number 10 overall pick, so it could be a very busy draft for Kevin Cheveldayoff. Now, barring some wheeling and dealing after the Oilers make their pick at number 14, they might be pretty bored the rest of the way. They have 1 conditional pick in the 3rd round, which they could use this year or next, then 1 pick in each of the 5th, 6th, and 7th rounds. Now, the Canucks are in a similar boat. They don't have a pick in the first 2 rounds, and unless Jim Benning pulls off some magic, their first pick will be at number 83. Now, I should mention, yeah, they dealt away those picks, but they did use them to get JT Miller and Tyler Toffoli. That turned out pretty well for the Canucks. All right, let's shift over to the East. And the Ottawa Senators are the most intriguing team, at least if you're talking about the actual draft. They have a boatload of picks, 13 in total. That includes 3 in the first round, 4 in round number 2, and 2 more in round number 3. And by the way, they have the number 3 and number 5 picks overall. Yeah, it's very possible that some of those picks get traded, but either way, it is a big day for a team in a full-blown rebuild. Okay, the Habs have 11 picks, including 5 in the first 3 rounds, but here's the interesting thing. They already have a lot of prospects in their system, so Marc Bergevin could really use those picks as bargaining chips. And FYI, he did make a total of 10 trades on day 2 of the past 2 drafts, so he is no stranger to draft day swaps. And finally, after the Leafs sent Kasperi Kapanen to the Pittsburgh Penguins for a prospect and a first-round pick, they not only cleared up some cap space, but GM Kyle Dubas said the number 15 pick is very much in play. And yes, they're looking for a blue liner, specifically a righty, who can help the Leafs get to the promised land, which for them means the 2nd round of the playoffs. Enjoy the draft.